open, I am open to the living Spirit of truth. I am open, my heart is open to the living Spirit of truth. I am open, my heart is open to love. I am open, my heart is open. I am open to the living Spirit of truth. I am open, my heart is open to the living Spirit of truth. I am open, my heart is open to love. I am open, my heart is open. I am open, my heart is open to love. I am open, my heart is open.
So now as we enter into this quiet time, we open our hearts, our minds, our entire being to the Spirit of truth. So put aside your thoughts. Let go for a moment of your emotions and still your body. There are wonderful powers, abilities that we have been given as a part of our creation. None of us is without them. We call them the 12 powers. And today we celebrate the power of love. And so for just this moment, the harmony, the unity, the bond that is love, we allow that to take us over, to fill us and to flow out of us as we consider this in the quiet. Open your heart to love. And then bring your attention to your mind. Open your mind to the gift of the power of wisdom. that ability to evaluate, to discern, to appraise, and to apply things in our life. As you open your mind in the silence, picture for just a moment what you might look like when you are fully dressed in the power of wisdom. And consider that in the silence. And now we bring our attention back to this time and place. Breathe with me. Take a deep breath. Sense the peace that is in this place. We are so grateful. And so it is. Thank you for letting me go get my glasses. I need them for this part of the service. Our theme this month is harnessing the power of love. Of course, love was a great theme for the month of February, Valentine's Day and all. But we want to harness that power of love, and we do so by coupling it, by pairing up with those other powers. And today we're talking about the power of wisdom. The affirmation that we said, let me just say it again. As we pair the power of love with the power of wisdom, we can effectively express our divine nature in the world. A little story to begin. This is a true story. Not made. Sometimes I make them up, but
I'm going to interrupt. Neal, it's very hard to hear you. I wonder if you use the cordless mic, if that would work better, because that was a little louder.
Donna, are you hearing now?
No. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I tried to get others to tell you this.
You hear us now?
It's getting better. Try the cordless mic.
How about this?
That's better. Thank you.
Oh, okay, we'll go with the cordless mic.
That's what I was trying to get them to tell you.
But if I gesture with my hands,
Oh, it's great. It's great.
lose the mic.
Good job.
Okay. So about this true story. It's about a story of a couple. And we're not going to make it a quiz because you're going to get it right away anyway. The man of this couple, as a young boy, in northern Minnesota, I believe. Interesting, we're having our attention drawn to Minnesota. Lived somewhat in a modest home with his parents, but he lived the rest of the time with his friends, who were in fact Native Americans. And so he was living kind of in two homes at the same time. He was a little daredevil, and at one point in his life, in the middle of the winter, it's cold up there in Minnesota, in the middle of the winter he was skating and he had an accident, and he injured his hip greatly. Injured it so much that even though he was still growing, the leg was not growing. And as he came into adulthood, his leg was about 3 inches shorter one than the other. So it was a little bit of a handicap in life, but as you will see, it didn't stop him. The other person is the woman who was to become his wife, who grew up and was afflicted with tuberculosis. I forget what they call it. There's some word. Consumption. Yes, thank you. Appreciate the help. Consumption, it would have been called back then. So the two married. They lived between Missouri and Colorado, sometimes in Missouri. Oh, by the way, it's Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore. You probably got that, the co-founders of Unity. And they did fairly well in real estate, but then there was a bust, and something that had been niggling at them all of their life, truth, took their full attention, and they began to seek for truth. They looked at Eastern religion. They looked at some of the New Thought religions or the New Thought movements that were there, and determined when they settled down in Kansas City that they would begin to teach. They would begin to have classes. They would begin to publish little pamphlets. From that, they grew up into the Unity movement. But I'm getting ahead of my story. At one point, they went to visit a speaker, or to attend a function where there was a speaker named D.B. Weeks. D.B. Weeks was a student, if you're at all familiar with New Thought history, of Emma Curtis Hopkins, who was very much affected by someone you probably know, Mary Baker Eddy, all from this New Thought area. And he heard this, that is Myrtle, at that convocation where E.B. Weeks was speaking. He heard him say, "I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness." I'm a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. Now, she had already been diagnosed with tuberculosis and given a life expectancy of maybe 2 more years. Well, she was 40 and she doubled that before she left this earthly plane, because she took that truth that really stuck with her, that really resonated with her, and she decided to prove it to herself. So she went home, began to pray in an unusual way, not to a God outside, but to the Christ within, affirming this truth that had struck her. She would pray, praising the organs and the tissues of her body in an affirmative prayer. And of course, Unity went on to enjoy and to learn and to use affirmative prayer. And guess what? In a couple of years, didn't happen immediately, in a couple of years, all signs of tuberculosis were gone. She did this daily practice, and it had that effect. But it didn't stop there. Her husband, Charles, heard about it. He wasn't really much interested in that until he saw what happened to her. He thought, I better check this out. And so he began to investigate this, and he began to look for the truth underlying maybe the texts and the words in various spiritual traditions. And of course that went on, and the Unity movement was born. One of the first places, Ram, I'm going to give a tribute to you. I'm talking to you. One of the things they did was to go outside of the city, Kansas City, to an area called Lee's Summit, and to buy a huge farm. Thousands of acres. And they began to grow organic foods. They began to look at life on the physical plane, life on the spiritual plane, as something that could receive healing. And so it did for Myrtle. And so it did for Charles, because he saw this and he began to investigate the truth. Now, they became so committed to this truth There are many things that we talk about all the time that are included in the truths that unity celebrates. Charles and Myrtle, at one point, decided that they were going to dedicate their lives to this truth, to this healing ministry, and they formed a covenant. I'm going to read it to you. It's not very long. It said, "We, Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore, husband and wife, hereby dedicate ourselves, our time, our money, all we have and all we expect to have to the Spirit of truth, and through it, to the Society of Silent Unity, which still exists today as we pray. It being understood and agreed that the said Spirit of truth shall render unto us an equivalent for this dedication in peace of mind, health of body, wisdom, understanding, love, life, and an abundant supply of all things necessary to meet every want, without our making any of these the object of our existence." They were serious about it. And so Myrtle continued to pray and began to pray with others, began to write and receive letters for people who were looking for healing, wholeness. And she laboriously answered every one of those letters. With great love, she spent hours and hours of time in answering those letters to help those people who were seeking healing, who were looking for the same thing she'd been looking for. The truth that she did not inherit sickness, did not inherit illness. Charles went a little bit different direction. That was the very loving, almost motherly kind of thing. So we think of Myrtle sometimes as the mother of unity. Charles began to sit in the silence. Family would come home for dinner. They all have dinner. And then Charles would retire to a corner where there was a chair, still in the room with everybody else, and spend hours in the silence. From those hours in the silence, words and thoughts came to him, and he put them on paper because he knew that they came from a source of truth that could not be denied. First things that he wrote were Christian healing. Of course, that was where it all started. So we could say that Myrtle really was the one that started unity. Charles came along pretty quickly. He wrote a book called Christian Healing. And then a book called Teach Us to Pray. And then a book called The 12 Powers. This was a metaphysical jump. Charles being called the American mystic. He jumped into this understanding of the meaning beneath the words that resonates with our very soul, with the spirit within us. And so Myrtle and Charles became the mind, Charles, and the heart of unity. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Love, as represented by Myrtle, and wisdom, as represented by Charles. Now, it's not as though this was, each one of them had their own space and one did not cross with the other. They were both deeply involved in prayer, both deeply involved in listening to Spirit. So we go on to explore that as we talk about the power of love when paired with the power of wisdom. I put it in a nutshell. When love is paired with wisdom, we achieve the balance required to express our divinity and to realize our purpose in the world. Say it once more. When love is paired with wisdom, we achieve the balance required to express our divinity and to realize our purpose in the world. Let's do a quick review. We talked about the power of love, and we'll be speaking about that every Sunday this month. That is the power that magnetizes magnetizes not in the way of a magnet on your refrigerator, but on the way of creating human bonds, even bonds with all that is, with nature. Because it's a magnetic thing. It's the truth that we are one, and that magnetism is expressed as love. It's expressed also as harmony. I'm not sure. Let me look. I have a chance. I can look at what's here. I don't know if Mary Ann is with us today. Don't see her. She could very well be here. Mary Ann Gardner, one of our members, living now in Mesa. When she was in Payson, had a car. And she had a license plate on that car. Anybody remember what it was? Who said it? You remember. Claudette's telling. Harmony. Harmony was what her license plate read. And she was in love with that harmony. That facet of the power of love. And then what else? Unity. Well, that makes sense. We're unity. Power of love that magnetizes, that harmonizes, that unifies. I can think of no better way to get a handle on that love, to get a feel for it, than the words of a chapter that we're probably all familiar with in the Christian scriptures, 1 Corinthians 13. And I want to read some of it. When we talk about this magnetism, this harmony, this unity, here's what it looks like. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love always rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. We won't spend more time with love, but you have a grounding in that. You have a little understanding of that. Probably from many sources beyond just Sunday morning here at Unity. So let's move on to the power of wisdom. The power of wisdom is defined as having characteristics, the ability to evaluate, the ability to discern, the ability to appraise and apply what we have appraised. We have a little bit of a confusion about wisdom, I think, in our usual understanding of it. I used to think it was old men who told stories. There's the wisdom. And now that I'm an old man, I'm not sure that's true. But it is not a couple of things. It is not knowledge. Many of you have fine educations, degrees, and sometimes degrees on top of degrees. You have great store of knowledge, some of which you can remember, some of which you can't. But wisdom is not knowledge. I like to use that same root word in a different way. Wisdom is knowing. Wisdom is knowing. From a spiritual point of view, that is going deep within, being quiet, listening to that spirit within, and knowing. sure you've had that experience at some point. You might not have it every day. It's a bit of a practice. But you're quiet in the quiet and suddenly you know something. You know something. It's not because you have a master's in something. It's because the Spirit that's within you is the conduit of all knowing, and that is shared with you as a divine being. No, it's not accumulated common sense, although that helps sometimes. It is knowing. There's a scripture that I love to paraphrase some of the scriptures. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I don't like that word fear. So I'm just going to change it out for awe. And I'm going to say the awe of spirit within is the beginning of wisdom. Remember those books in the Hebrew scriptures called wisdom literature? Proverbs, Song of Solomon, Ecclesiastes. Well, Proverbs attests to this time after time. A couple of them let me share. Don't abandon wisdom. She will watch over you. Love her, she will guard you. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. If you embrace her, she will honor you. Already you're seeing the link between wisdom and love. It's right there. Or this from Proverbs 7. Say to wisdom, you are my sister. And to insight, you are beloved. It brings us to wisdom and love together, as though they are woven into one piece of cloth. Yesterday in Saturday Soul Boost, I challenged those who were there. I don't think anybody's here in person right now that was there, but I challenged everybody to say, look in your mind and think of an image that represents love. Image. Whatever comes to you. Okay, do that with wisdom too. Wisdom. What image comes to you? When everybody had plumbed their mind and found these visual images or representations, I said, now merge the two. Now merge the two. And what does it look like? Interesting responses. I'll share a couple of them with you. One of them was this. The image, this is what I see when I see love and wisdom together. I see a campfire in a Native American village. People celebrating, singing, dancing, elders sitting around. They are one tribe, one people. Another one was pretty simple. The image, when merged love and wisdom, was a dog sitting under a tree. You know those dogs, they just love you anyway. Tree, perhaps an umbrella. And it made me think of another story, the story of the Buddha, who grew up in royal splendor, but was not satisfied. Grew up protected from seeing illness, from seeing death, from seeing aging. But he broke free from that. He went out. And he studied meditation and got to that place where he could be in the silence, open to the Spirit of life. He went on to become an ascetic. He denied himself just about everything, even food. As thin as a rail. But he did not find the wholeness, that sense of being divine in the world, in either of those two pursuits alone. And it was when he came to the place of sitting under a tree. Remember that story? The Bodhi tree, they call it. That he wakened. That he became enlightened. That the truth that he was to share began to seep into and out of his very being. Remember Myrtle and Charles. Heart of the movement, love. Mind, the movement, wisdom. Together they were a formidable couple. Myrtle wasn't the only one that talked about those deeper things, or Charles wasn't, and Myrtle did as well. In Healing Letters, a book compiled by Myrtle, he said this: God in the midst of you is love. God in the midst of you is wisdom. Let not your thoughts be given over to lack, but let wisdom fill them with the substance and faith of God. Let not your heart be a center of resentment and fear and doubt. God in the midst of you is love. God in the midst of you is wisdom. Together, as they're woven together, there's a formidable energy, a formidable force in that. I think it's something that we can take and employ as we demonstrate and express our divinity into the world. Combination of love and of wisdom. That's my goal. The urge, great desire to see people come together wherever they come from. The great desire for us not to operate just off the top of our head, whatever comes into our mind willy-nilly, but to have that well-considered wisdom achieved in the silence. Remember that little nutshell statement: when love is paired with wisdom, we achieve the balance required to express our divinity and to realize our purpose in the world. But how do I do that? I'm going to go with Myrtle. Lead with your heart. Lead with your heart. But I'm going to go with Charles too. Access your knowing. Is your heart open? Everybody you meet on the street? We try to get this started. I'm going to try to get it going. When you put your hand over your heart, when you meet somebody on the street, you don't need to say anything. They'll get something. They'll get some of that energy. But you'll know increasingly how to lead with your heart. One more very practical thing. Well, maybe I should say walk with the monks. What an incredible journey. 2,200 miles, I think, from Texas to Washington, D.C. Simply for peace. They're not preaching to people. They're practicing what their normal spiritual practice is. We suggested last week that in light of some of the circumstances in our country, in Minnesota, we would stand with truth. And some of us have tried to take that time. Claudia will mention it a little bit later. At 7 o'clock in the evening, to just take a minute to stand for peace, stand for justice, to stand for love and wisdom. But this coming Wednesday, the monks arrive in Washington. And they will live stream a celebration on Wednesday. I think they arrive Tuesday. They will live stream a celebration, a meditation. It's only 3 hours long. I suspect you could watch part of it. It would still work. But I encourage you to honor the dedication that they have, to spend a little time. You can easily find it. Gary, I think you're putting it in the, it's in the slides today, and it'll be in our newsletter tomorrow. You can easily find it. The Facebook live stream. Stand with them for peace. Take that love that motivates them, that desire to achieve harmony, unity, and spiritual bonds with all of creation. Adopt a little bit of that. Spend, if you can, a little bit of time with the monks. That's a very practical thing. That's something you can put on your calendar, set your alarm, do it. How do I do that? That's one way. So, Charles and Myrtle, heart of unity, our movement. Mind of unity, our movement. Let me say that. Nutshell of wisdom. I think I'm going to say it's wisdom. When love is paired with wisdom, we achieve the balance required to express our divinity and to realize our purpose in the world. And so it is.
Thank you, Rev Neal. That was beautiful. And certainly was a message to bring into our lives this week and to live with. Unity of Payson is a source of spiritual nourishment and inspiration. In this community, we receive gratefully and we give generously. We greatly appreciate your gifts and support of this ministry. Your gifts not only support the spiritual community, but they also go out to the larger community. If you are here in person, we have placed a basket on the back table. There it is, over there. And we invite you to put your gifts there and you can do that before, after the services or classes. For those online and for those who wish to make a recurring gift, you can donate at our website, unityofpayson.org. It's .org that time. And please note the information on the slides. Do we have one? There we go. Our giving affirmation is printed on a plaque on the wall above the basket. And if you'd like to say it together with me right now, let's say the affirmation together, please. Freely we give, and freely we receive. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I mentioned that the entry to our donation page is a .org, and a few minutes ago I mentioned if you want to reach our minister, it's a .com. And if I have gotten mixed up going in for a class or to a class, as always, you go into Zoom by going into the .org site. So we have both of those going, and we'd like to hear from you on either one of them. So let's see, what have we got here? Oh, the theme for we have a song.
Special music next.
Special music. Let's do some special music. Light is returning, is that right?
Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour. No one can hold back the dawn. Let us keep it burning. Let us keep the light of hope alive. Make safe our journey through the storm. One planet is turning, circle on her path around the sun. Earth Mother is calling her children home. Come on home, children, come on home. Come on home, children, come on home. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour. No one can hold back the dawn. Let us keep it burning. Let us keep the light of hope alive. Make safe our journey through the storm. One planet is turning, circle on her path around the sun. Earth Mother is calling her children home. Come on home, children, come on home. Come on home, children, come on home.
That's a good wake up. Now the theme for the month is harnessing the power of love. And if you will see, is the affirmation up there again? It is there we The power of love and the power of wisdom is what you have. Next week is power of power. The power of power. And they have power of power next week, so that's one you can't miss. See you then. Oh, our church has so many activities. It's amazing what a powerful group we have as far as what we offer during the week. I will share the announcements for the coming week with you today, but there are many, many things happening at Unity of Payson. Please check the website, unityofpayson.org in this case, or the Monday newsletter for all the details, but I will give you some of them now. There is a group in Minnesota which is being so wounded now by some of the philosophy in our country. And they've come together and have announced a 40-day prayer vigil. It's going to be happening for 40 days, starting as soon as possible, and we will do this with everyone around the globe. Daily at 7 p.m., take the time to pray and know that everyone at the 7 o'clock will be all around the globe. Everybody's 7 o'clock. There's nobody having to think about time zone. But pray at 7 o'clock in the evening with the people of Minnesota for the grace and dignity of their population. And that'll be for 40 days. Global Loving Kindness Meditation. Now, that's on Wednesdays. Are you going to be doing that?
No, it's online. It's on Wednesday. Facebook.
It's on Facebook on Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll be this coming Wednesday. And it's Global Loving Kindness. Oh, there we are. Good. I see what's on the slide here. Well, there are our beautiful friends in their saffron robes. Good. The energy of Qigong. We have that. And Terry, you're going to mention that again to us, please?
Also the new pen, but, can I get it in there somewhere? Okay, so the Qigong, I'll just jump to that real quick. As I mentioned, it's not on, okay. No. As I mentioned before, this will be right after service. It takes no more than 30 minutes. I'm just going to do a brief introduction of what the poses are. And it's 6 poses to music, and it's fun, it's energizing, and it's good for your health. Balances your energy, and that's all I need to say. Okay.
I love Qigong. I'm going to be there. I have the discs of Qigong at home. It is indeed worth your time. It'll be after church today. Stay for it. The new renewed pen. Are you going to talk about that? No? I will then, because I was there. The writers, if you aspire to writing, or if you write, or if you would just like to get along and hear people who are writing, please join us on a Tuesday, on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. It's at between 4 and 5 p.m. on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. Come to the Unity site on Zoom, and you will find yourself a meeting on writers. Morning Cafe, come join us on Zoom every Saturday morning at 9:30. So for an inspirational start to your day, click on the Zoom. Again, this is going to be an org one. It will be a unity.org site, and you can reach it on Zoom for a Saturday morning.
Same thing for Saturday Soul.
And Saturday Soul Boost in the afternoon on Saturday, where people will discuss the coming talk, and Reverend Neal will discuss his feelings about that with you and enjoy your feedback. And next week is the annual meeting for the board member after church. So if you want to stay and hear the board meeting, you'll have that opportunity next week. And the sound bath with Betty Daly, that happens on Friday. She has this, all these bowls and things that give meditative kind of soul cleansing. And that's going to be on Friday, the 20th, between 3:30 and 4:30. Okay. And bring a yoga mat or a cushion or a blanket if you want. You can either lie on the floor or sit on the chair and have a sound bath of sound. People who experience that really do love it. Okay, we've got a Bashur video.
Yeah, so this Bashar video watching discussion. Bashar video watching discussion. This is his little bio. For over 40 years, individuals from all over the globe have made the journey to experience this renowned channel. Similar to Edgar Cayce, Seth, Abraham Hicks, this material has been heralded as some of the most relevant, compelling, and dynamic information delivered to the planet to date. I just have personally finding him very inspiring. I think he has great tools that he offers, great meditations, a really lot of insights. So I really am enjoying listening to him. I think I'm going to stick, Neil, with the third Sunday. I know we have the board meeting, but if people want to come, but it'll just be a regular. They don't make it this third Sunday. I'll do it again in March. So anyway, you're welcome to come. It's basically it will be a monologue. His monologue will be no more than maybe 10 minutes. Then he has like this question and answer, which lasts like 2 hours, but I'm just going to pull out 30 minutes of it. And then the meditation is about 15 minutes. And then if you want to hear like the whole thing later, I can share it with you at some other place, or if some people want to stay over and can. Because the Q&A is really long, so I'm just going to pull out pieces of it. And then we can have discussion. That'll be it. All right.
Good. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah.
That does sound fascinating. That's next Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So you might want to come on back for that experience. And Terry will be there with you. Okay, and you're going to do,
Yeah. You see this on Interfaith Community. If anybody would like to know their activities, please, interfaith-community.org. Go ahead and take a look at that. I want to just emphasize one thing so it's not confusing. The annual meeting next week is not a board meeting. The board will be here, but it is a meeting of all members and all of those who would like to sit in to know where we're going, what we're doing, and we just do that once a year. And so please prepare to just stay for a little time after the service next week. Today we will not do the soul connection that we often have done. We're going to put that on a little bit of a hiatus, and but Terry will be doing the Qigong. So time for us to end our service. We've gone a little long, but I trust you'll bear with us. Let's go to our closing song and our prayer for protection, and we're going to again join the Unity Ahihik version of it. If you're here in person, I invite you to stand. Go right to that one, and then we'll follow along with the prayer for protection as it's on the slide.
Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right, and now to sing. To sing is to pray twice.
Oh no, we're singing it.
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power of God, we are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Okay.
Grab a hand if you'd like to,
All right.
and get a little bit of a salsa feel going to it.
Cumbia already.
Let there be peace on earth,
And
let it begin with me. Let there be peace
on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony.
Let with me, let this be the moment now. Wherever step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you all soon.